It's October 5th, 2017, and our family is gathered here again, celebrating Tabernacles. We just came out of Atonement a week ago, and we're into Tabernacles. We're very blessed that the Lord has allowed our family to be a part of this feast, and so we're sitting around the campfire, getting ready to talk about the Lord, what we like doing best. So I'm gonna let Cliff take over from here.
Well, all we want to talk about is some facts about today using our scripture. If we go to Leviticus chapter 23 and verse 34, it starts talking about the Feast of Tabernacles. I don't know if we're going to get somebody else to read it or what. Come on, you already got a seat over there? Come on over here.
Go around, Johnny, go around so I won't get you.
Alright, read one verse at a time.
Start at 32.
34.
Okay. Speak unto the children of Israel, saying, the 15th day, the 7th month, shall be the Feast of Tabernacles for 7 days unto the Lord.
Okay, so that's today, 15th day of the 7th month. We know that because we track the days and know which day is which according to the lunar calendar. Okay, so that makes today the 15th day of the 7th month and the Feast of Tabernacles, start of a 7-day feast. Alright.
On the first day shall be an holy convocation. Ye shall do no servile work therein.
Now, so a couple of words he used there was the servile work and the holy convocation. Now, anybody want to take a stab at what those mean?
Holy convocation is, we know that holy means set apart, and convocation means to assemble. So I'm thinking that it means us a day set apart where we assemble ourselves together.
Same thing we're doing now. And right now, we're kind of a young family, but in the future, you guys may have to travel in order to attend these feasts. You know, we may have to actually go off, to assemble ourselves together. All right, go ahead.
7 days ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord.
Okay. Now, that's a tough one for me and a lot of other folks, is the offering made by fire, because we struggle with the sacrifices and how and if and when we are supposed to do them. So, we're praying for the Lord to give us understanding on those. But, I mean, one thing we need to understand about the offerings and what the Lord intended for those to be is a foreshadowing of the things to come. And there's a lot of people who would argue that the burnt offering, the offering that the Lord is really pleased with, is a living sacrifice, which is our bodies that we give over to Him for His Holy Spirit to dwell. So, again, that's a tough one, if somebody know the absolute answer, share it with me. I'd like to know too. Anybody else got any input on it? I'll speak up. Go ahead.
I didn't know the verse was still going because you had to turn the page and stuff. But there's more to the verse.
Keep going.
32. On the 8th day shall be an holy convocation unto you, and ye shall offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord. It is a solemn assembly, and ye shall do no servile work therein.
Okay. So now that's saying on the 8th day there should be a party. So you have, this is our first day. We'll be in the tent, and we'll stay in the tent. Let's see. Today, according to the Gregorian calendar, today, well, tomorrow is what, Friday. So Friday would be day 1 of the feast day, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday will be the 7th day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thursday is the 7th day, and the 8th day will be another
Celebration day.
celebration day, but it'll also be another Sabbath day,
Right.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So you will spend the last day of the feast preparing for the celebration the next day. Everybody got that?
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's go on.
These are the feasts of the Lord, which ye shall proclaim to be holy convocations, to offer an offering made by fire unto the Lord, a burnt offering and a meat offering, a sacrifice and a drink offering, everything upon his day.
And so, so this is a big barbecue day. This is a day when you have big feasts, and you know, as your community grows and more people get into the covenant and stuff, it'll become bigger and bigger. But notice how in that verse it looks like he's completed it, and we're not talking about the feast anymore. But he's kind of summing it up. But you know, you'll notice that. Well, go ahead, go to the next one.
Beside the Sabbath of the Lord, and beside your gifts, and beside all your vows, and beside all your free will offerings, which ye give unto the Lord.
All right. So he done described all of the feasts. Keep going.
Also in the 5th day of the 7th month ye have gathered in the fruit of the land. Ye shall keep a feast unto the Lord 7 days, and on the 7th day shall be a Sabbath, unto the 8th day shall be a Sabbath. Wait. Yeah.
That
So
sounded
it's-
kind of weird.
So it's talking about gathering your fruits. So it's talking about, he's going on talking about another feast, right?
Well, it's the same feast, but it's talking about after you've gathered your fruit. You know, and if you're doing it the first way as described, you haven't gathered your fruit. That's kind of people who are still on the other side of the River Jordan, on the other side of the Red Sea, or however you want to describe it. These are people who are still in Babylon or still in Egypt, and they really can't do it. You know, they live in apartments, and they really can't do, you know, the stuff that he's about to describe. You know, go get some branches. You know, a lot of people in them cities, they go start pulling branches off the trees, they're going to get in trouble. Go ahead, Jackie.
And ye shall take you on the first day the boughs of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, and the boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook. And ye shall rejoice before the Lord your God 7 days.
Okay. So yeah, it is a different feast. It's different than the other one described, and when you celebrate it this way, it's more of a celebration where you are taking these bowls, and you're kind of doing a thing similar to when Jesus entered, or your son entered the Jerusalem on a donkey, and they had these palm leaves, and they were, you know, prancing around and waving the palm leaves and praising the Lord. So that's the kind of stuff that he expects us to do, starting on the first day. So he'll start doing that tomorrow.
And ye shall keep it a feast unto the Lord 7 days in the year. It shall be a statute forever in your generations. You shall celebrate it in the 7th month.
Okay. So that one there, let me see it, Johnny. That's your ordinance that tells you should do this thing.
Perfect.
All right. Any questions on that? Let's pull up the next verse. Next we're going to Deuteronomy chapter 16, 13 and 16. And then to get there. So what do y'all think so far?
Well, we know that it's mandatory.
Yeah, he said do it.
My question is, why do you? I know you said before that it was only mandatory for you and Christian.
Yeah, because it's always the males that are expected to attend these feasts. These feasts would have been, you would have had to travel to get to them, and the whole family wasn't required to travel. It was only really the males that were required. And a lot of times they would take everybody with them. But if you did not do them, there was punishments associated with them. And if it was a hardship, it was a hardship for the males to do it, not the whole family. Stepmom, mother-in-law, and everybody had to go down there.
But that was, I think about it when your son was born, that were they attending a feast? Was that a feast? Because a lot of people say it was Feast of Tabernacles.
When the Savior was born,
right.
The day he was born, well, they try to say it was Tabernacles, and they say it was Pentecost, and nobody really knows for sure. Only day we know it wasn't was December 25th. That's the day we know it wasn't for sure.
But we do know it was a feast when
it was definitely a feast day. When
he went and he got lost. Remember, his parents were looking for him.
Yeah.
It was like a whole convoy of people, and they thought he was with the other family members or friends or whatever, and it took them 2 or 3 days for them to notice it.
Yeah, and so they would have all traveled in like these big caravans to go down there to Jerusalem, to the temple, to the Holy Mount, and do these feasts.
I bet it was a fun thing, when in Lamentations where the Lord says the gates are sorrowful because nobody comes to this feast anymore.
Yeah.
People aren't coming to the feast anymore, or something to that fact. But I bet it was people probably look forward to it. It's like people look forward to the holidays,
Yeah, and we're supposed to. We look forward to, 4th of July. We look forward to Memorial Day and Labor Day. This is the Lord's Day, and we're supposed to look forward to it. And we should look at how much time and effort and money we spend on those days, and we should spend, at least the same amount on the Lord's Day. 4th of July celebration, people got grills going, they got coolers, they got people over, they got music, they got
big 100-inch TVs in the yard.
They got it going on, and then you look at the Lord's feast, and it's like, we are not putting forth the same amount of effort.
Right.
All right, so let's jump to the next verse. What you got there? What do we say this was? Deuteronomy chapter 16, verse 13 through 16. Read 13.
Thou shalt observe the Feast of Tabernacles 7 days. After that thou hast gathered in thy corn and thy wine.
See, this is a harvest feast. It's a celebration of the fact that the Lord has given us such a bountiful harvest. And so every year we go in and we celebrate this. Now, the pagans do the same thing. They have harvest feasts. Their harvest feasts are like, I don't know if it's Halloween or Christmas. One of them is like a harvest feast, and I believe it's Halloween.
Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving is not a pagan holiday. There's 8 pagan holidays, and Thanksgiving is not one of them. It includes stuff like May Day, which I don't really know what that is, and around the calendar. But but it is a feast time of harvest. So you at this time, this is only our second year doing this. So we don't really have a bountiful harvest as we would be expected to have in the third year, when we are expected to, give away a lot of food. We're expected to give away more food next year than we saw this year. And that's according to the rules of the law. And and we celebrate that, and the only way we can be assured to get that is if we do these feasts, to be honest with you. Go ahead, Johnny.
And thou shalt rejoice in thy feast, thou and thy son, and thy daughter, and thy manservant, and thy maidservant, and the Levite, the stranger, and the fatherless, and the widow that are within thy gates.
Okay. So now you say, everybody's supposed to be celebrating, everybody involved. If we, had other people that were living here on the land, they would all be required to do it, whether they was just, sojourning here, or whether they were a relative here, or somebody here working, doing the construction, whatever. Everybody's expected to participate in the feast. And then you say, what are our gates now? If we live in a city, or if we live in a subdivision, or wherever, where are our gates at? Now. So that's another one that you can say for those who really want to get into some deep philosophical type Bible studies. Define a gate when I live in an apartment building. Go ahead.
7 days shalt thou keep a solemn feast unto the Lord thy God, in the place which the Lord shall choose, because the Lord thy God shall bless thee in all thine increase, and in all the works of thine hand. Therefore thou shalt surely rejoice.
Yeah. So it's saying the same thing as the other one, but that's talking about kind of getting a type of what will happen if you do such, kind of a blessing kind of thing. Let me see it, Johnny. What was that, 16?
That was 15.
All right, go ahead, read on.
3 times a year shall all thy males appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, in the feast of unleavened bread, and in the feast of weeks, and in the feast of tabernacles, and they shall not appear before the Lord empty.
Okay, so that's one of the places that it tells you is the males who are required. It just told you that everybody should, but right here it's telling you that the males are required. Right? You get that from them too? All right. So let me see it. That was the end of that. All right.
I was listening to a teaching today where they were talking about the people in the city, how they really didn't have anywhere to go to do tabernacles. So they put a sheet over their dining room table.
Hey, whatever. It's all about being observant at this point. Now, when he starts shaking the earth, you might want to be in a tabernacle for real then. But he recognizes our attempts to be obedient, no matter how we fall short. Effort is effort.
Right. At least you really tried.
At least if you do really try. Now, if you do something goofy and call it heat, like I said, the Lord knows your heart. You know when you're playing.
What do you mean put a sheet over the table? Looks like you'll put, like Christian build a porch sometimes.
Oh. Are you talking about make a fire on the table?
In their house.
Oh, heck no. Alright, bro.
All right, we're going to, let me see, go on to Deuteronomy 31 and 10 now. Here you go, Jody. Read 31 and 10.
And Moses commanded them, saying, at the end of every 7 years, in the solemnity of the year of release, in the feast of tabernacles. 32.
Go ahead.
When all Israel is come to appear before the Lord thy God in the place which he shall choose, thou shalt read this law before all Israel in their hearing.
Okay. So now this is talking about what you actually do during the Feast of Tabernacles, is you read this. Now it's telling you in a specific year. It's saying every 7 years to read this. And I'm strict when it comes to the Bible, but I don't like adding to it. Same way I definitely don't like taking away. I don't like adding to it. But this may be an exception. Maybe you read the law every year. Especially since we don't know when the sabbatical year is. Really. You did it every year, hoping to get it one time right out of 7. So what does the next verse say?
Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger that is within thy gates, that they may hear, and that they may learn, and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of his law.
Yep. So, here, let me see. So, we just need some, we could use some more people to hear, but this is what we got, so this is what we do. And we will just read the law. It's one of the things we can add to our agenda, things to do. Tomorrow is getting the branches. Now, the next thing we are going, and when it says read the law, is talking primarily about the Book of the Covenant. It's talking about, the Torah laws, and not really talking about, all of the law. So that would involve reading pretty much all the Bible. They'd have to read at least the first 5 books. Now they're talking about specific books within the Torah. All right, next we go on to Zechariah chapter 14, 16 through 19. Any comments? Any questions?
You have a question, Clifford? Thought your hand was raised.
Maybe I have a question. Well, it's chapter 14, and what did I say? 14 through 16?
Yeah.
I'm sure. Let me see. Let me go back and look and see what I got. 14. Zechariah 14, 16 through 19. That's really good. Might have wrote it down wrong. Nope, 16 through 19. Alright, here, read this one. Journey.
And it shall come to pass that everyone that is left of all the nations which come against Jerusalem shall even go up from year to year to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, and to keep the Feast of the Tabernacle.
So, that's saying, to me, what that sounds like is saying everybody on the planet, even the people who was fighting against Jerusalem and made war with them, now that the Lord's day has passed and we live in a this millennial age that everybody will be coming up to do the feast. That's what it sounded like to me. Anybody disagree or agree? Or
I agree.
read the next one.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up of the families of the earth into Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even upon them shall be no rain.
Okay. Now, this is rain to the farmer. It's actually physical rain because we have to have it for our stuff to grow. We don't eat. But it's also rain is also a key for blessings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when he says that you will get rain, one could expect that they'll be getting, the blessings of the Father or the grace that we expect, giving us of His goodwill when we don't quite deserve it. So, all right, what's the next one? You guys are talkative tonight.
Mm-hmm. I think everybody's just listening and enjoying the fire.
And it shall be that whoso will not come up from... Wait, I just read that. And if the family of Egypt go not up and come not that have known rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not to keep the Feast of Tabernacles.
Okay, so he's saying that, you come up, everybody's expected to come up to the feast, even the bad guys of old, the ones that survived somehow and are now living here on this earth, even they're expected to come. And it said that when they don't come, the first thing that's going to happen to you is you're not going to get any rain, okay? But then if you don't wise up and catch it and get the hint, it's kind of like Leviticus 26 where he adds punishment to it. What's the punishment after you still continue to not keep the feast even when you're not getting rain?
Plague.
You get a plague. And those plagues he's talking about, or he referred to in other parts of the Bible as the plagues of Egypt. And these are common diseases that we get. I hesitate to say it, but there are people dying because of what we consider common ailments like cancer and diabetes and heart disease and high blood pressure. But these are the actual plagues of Egypt that the Lord told us about. And we are getting these plagues, and we have been losing our fathers and forefathers because of this rule right here that says if you don't do these feasts, you're going to be plagued. And that's why there's a lot of widows in this world. There's a lot of widows in this world because of this one reason, this one thing right here.
So, when you, look at people in the city who have, are not doing the feast, and they have, access to medicine and stuff, they're getting sick, but people who don't and are keeping the feast aren't really getting sick.
Yeah, you're right. So, and it ain't just the cities, it's the countries too. They are getting sick, but they're getting health care. And that's an excellent point you bring out, Journey, is because Satan knew this. He knew that we were getting the diseases of Egypt. So what does he do? Is he sets up doctors and physicians and these people that can actually make merchandise of you getting sick by selling you the ailments, selling you the pain medicine or cold medicine or flu medicine or cancer relief stuff. So it's really a wicked setup all the way around, in that
It helps the economy to be sick.
Yeah, this feeding the economy for us to be disobedient to this rule right here. We're disobedient to this rule, and therefore we are making all of the doctors and pharmacists wealthy in this country. And we're losing, and the morticians, and don't forget about them guys. They getting quite a lick out of it too. But, that's just one of the many ways that they are making merchandise out of us. We are their It's like the movie The Matrix, right? And instead of, us making power for them, we are making money for them. We are cash generators. We are what? Like our whole job, like we, are the golden.
Big business.
Disobeying the Lord, working on the Sabbath day, and using the money you get to take care of the ailments that you get for disobeying the Lord.
Yeah, and then you need some cold medicine and some yep, you're actually right. Well, we're their golden duck, we're their golden chicken, golden hen. Yeah, we continue to lay the eggs. They keep us, and we just laying eggs for them, and they are collecting those eggs. Give us our little feed corn, and we keep going. All right, guys. Any more questions, comments, concerns about Tabernacles? What time we at, Sam?
31 minutes.
31 minutes. We want to end it there. We can come back and talk about some other stuff, like what we expecting to happen during this time, like,
How old do you have to be where you have to sleep in the tent?
in order that it becomes a mandatory feast. It's 12 years old. At 12 years old and older. That's a very excellent, clever question. But at 12 years old and older, you have to keep the feast, or you're subject to being punished. You're subject to getting sick. You're subject to having plagues on you. And Tabernacles is one of them. Passover is another one. So,
That's the next feast coming up.
yeah, after this one, this is a week-long feast. And we're at the beginning of it. Got our tent. Show them the tent. Can they see the tent? They can't see the tent in the dark. Ooh, you got me in there, dude.
Not at all.
I sure can't see it.
It's too dark.
You don't even got a flashlight?
Nope.
Alright. Well, we got our tent set up. We've been out here working on it all day, but they can't see it. They'll see it tomorrow.
They can't
They'll
see.
see it though. Be careful when you get a tree in there or something.
Yeah.
Don't get me in there.
I'm not gonna get this one.
Alright, well, we're
Hey,
going to
go
close
Box.
it out.
Y'all gonna have to wash up, guys. Especially you, Chris.
Hey, let's finish out the video before we talk about before we do the laundry. All right, y'all. This is the Feast of Tabernacles. It's a solemn occasion. For some, it's a celebration. For others, it's about obedience for all. It's about obedience for all. Everybody needs to do something. If it ain't nothing but hit your knees and pray, Lord, forgive you for not doing nothing. You need to let him know that you want to be on his team. He wins in the end. The Lord, he kind of like Alabama. He let the other team win 3 quarters and then come back in the end, the 4th quarter, and then somehow they always win, something like that. So, Alabama fan, but I am observant. All right, we out, y'all.
Shalom.
War Eagle.